Hey guys, welcome back to Shash Talks NFTs, and today I have a really exciting gaming NFT project. They minted out around a month or so ago, so they are on secondary right now, and their floor price is 1.59 Sol. It's a 10,000 NFT collection for this game, which is called Meekolony. So Meekolony is the first kind of iteration for Tatsumiku, which is a fantasy play-to-earn metaverse for Solana, right? So they have a 10,000 NFT series. And essentially, this is going to be a cross-platform play-to-earn metaverse RPG for Discord, web, and mobile. So if you watch their trailer here, you can kind of see that they have some gameplay images. So it's not really gameplay footage, but they have essentially images of their art style and what the game will look like. So they're still fairly early in development, but they are a really solid team. So let's quickly talk about the team, because as I've mentioned in my previous videos, the team is the most important part of most of these gaming NFT projects, because if you have a team that's anonymous and mediocre, they're not going to be able to execute. While a docs team that has experience, that's where I want to bet on. So the team behind Meekolony also built Tatsu, right? So this is basically a Discord app with over 1.4 million Discord servers that use it, and essentially it's a gamification app for Discords. So what it does, it allows you to level up in Discord, so communities can have leveling in Discords, and then if you level up to a certain level, you get rewarded with this currency, right? Discord currency that then you can use to get kind of basically items from the Discord. You can get like these special kind of little things, and you also get pets for your Discord, right? So you enter in Tatsugachi and you get your little Discord pet, and you build your own house, and then you can use that currency to build your own kind of little house in Discord, right? And essentially what this does is this allows Discord gamification. So these guys have built this product, right, which uses Discord, and it's already being used by 1.4 million Discord servers. Now they want to make a play-to-earn game essentially with the same distribution method. Like they say, they are planning to use Discord, web, and mobile for this, so they're going to have the same distribution method, the same strategy they used. So this is a game that, if it's reasonably good, they're going to be able to get this out to millions and millions of users very, very quickly, because they figured out distribution, which a lot of crypto gaming companies have no idea how to do, right? So that's already very impressive. Now, the team's website is tatsu.works. You can obviously see these guys are in Singapore. They have the names of their developers and team members. These guys are a docs team. Now, obviously, they don't really have photos and so on, but it wouldn't be too hard to find them on LinkedIn, because these guys have created real products, right? Obviously, they could do a little bit better with showcasing how it's fully doxed, but the proof is in the pudding, right? Scaling a product to over 1 million Discord users is freaking impressive. Now, right over here, they do have a development teaser, right? So they have a little bit of gameplay footage in there. It's not really like super in depth. And you can see here how they're essentially able to gamify this into Discord, right? Which is pretty impressive. So the fact that you can play this in Discord and on web, that's very, very cool. So I would definitely check out their website. So a couple things I want to mention about these. Number one, they're part of Y Combinator's 2022 batch, right? And they've gotten $725,000 in pre-seed funding from YC and other angels. So being part of Y Combinator is huge, right? That's most crypto gaming projects are not part of Y Combinator, and that's again why I'm so bullish on these guys. With this Discord game that they already built, Tatsujiji, which is kind of already their framework and their system for essentially scaling this play-to-earn game, they have over 60 million users, right? So this is pretty impressive. So what will the game look like, right? It's basically an RPG style game, and there are 3 core tenets of this game. The first is it's a free-to-play game, right? So you don't need to buy a token, you don't need to do anything, you just can start playing without having to pay anything. So that's basically removes a barrier to adoption. And then the second is you can earn the in-game token and you can play without even having a wallet, right? So you don't even need to create a wallet to play. Now, the way they'll do it is, instead of forcing somebody who's never used crypto before to kind of create a wallet and do all of that work, they kind of do it step by step. So inside the gameplay mechanics, they're doing progression-based learning, right? So basically with video games, most of them introduce game dynamics and game mechanics through different levels. And that's what they're doing here, right? So what I imagine that looks like is instead of having to create a crypto wallet to start, it's more like, hey, you start playing, you start earning rewards. The game at a certain point says, hey, you've been earning these IGS rewards. Do you want to learn how to kind of claim them so you can buy these other game items, right? And then maybe they'll do a quick tutorial on how to create a crypto wallet and get that set up. And essentially, they'll slowly introduce these dynamics of crypto in there without forcing it down the user's throat. Now, the last piece of their gameplay kind of philosophy is a mentorship system where experienced players who've been doing play to earn for a while can mentor new players and then help these new players get better results, and then in exchange get a percentage of their earnings. So it's kind of like similar to the scholarship system, but it looks like it's based on more mentorship. Now, another cool part of how they've built this game is community incentives, right? So Discord community owners will earn IGS for every player within their community that's onboarded onto Tatsumiku. So that's freaking huge, right? It's essentially you're incentivizing the Discord community's top leadership to actually have their people, have their community start playing Tatsumiku, which is really cool because it gives these Discord community owners a way to monetize their Discords, and it's worth a lot of potential money if this really blows up, right? So that's an incredibly smart marketing strategies, basically incentivizing Discord owners to get people to start playing this game. So the first gameplay mode is Alien Overworld, and essentially what this is this is kind of like a single player story mode, right? So that's and then they have different player types that will do well with this. And then they have co-op raids, so players tackle increasingly difficult challenges together, and this is more of a cooperative co-op mode. And then dimensional invasions. So this is basically you have a whole community, and it kind of sounds like some sort of tower defense where you're protecting your dimension from invading forces, and you earn IGS and loot boxes for this. So they have this whole dynamic of what they call dimensions. So dimensions are basically kind of like specialized areas / hangouts for you and your community, and you can build special buildings in there, and it essentially provides boosts to people playing on that server. You also can build guilds, so then guilds essentially are kind of like the guild systems in other play-to-earn games where you will have a guild master, and guilds can own land, and the community members can have a guild treasury and so on. And essentially, if you're able to make yourself one of the top guilds and do these guild quests, you would earn the in-game tokens. And then there's obviously the player versus player arena, which is a competitive game mode. So this is player versus player, which you'll earn like their in-game token as well. So according to the white paper, combat in Tatsumiku is automatic. It's controlled by the composition of the player's party, the character attributes, and their equipped skills. Essentially, with planning and configuration, you can set up devastating combos. So from the sounds of it, you don't have that much control in combat. It kind of sounds like you have these characteristics or these traits and equipment, and then it automatically plays out. I personally would prefer to have more control in combat because I kind of like combat, but I would have to see more gameplay footage to really understand how this works. Now, what's also cool is they have a multi-class system, so you can basically be a squire and you advance to a knight, or you can be a warrior, you advance to a gladiator. So as you advance through the game, you kind of evolve your character and go to a higher class. And then there's kind of basically these support characters that are kind of like the magic mage characters. And then there's these ones that are like archers, long distance ones as well, and magicians, thieves, etc., right? So each one of these has interesting progressions. So thieves can advance to assassins, and they have obviously special skills with special weapons. One thing that's really cool about this game as well, on top of these kind of multi-class systems, is you're going to be able to do resource gathering and crafting. So you can actually gather, resources, right? And you can use them to essentially get new skills, get new crafting, etc. So with the life skills that you have fishing, farming, mining, crafting, and gathering. So there's some players that like combat, and there's some players who just want to fish and mine and kind of build and kind of do the whole resource gathering thing, right? So that's a really cool gameplay dynamic. So let's talk about tokenomics, and again, this is going to potentially change, but this is their general idea of how tokenomics will work. So they have two tokens, right? So they have basically MKLN, which is Meekolony bonds, and this is the premium token, which is going to be, from what I understand, more scarce. and this can be used for special premium basically rewards or premium upgrades, as well as governance, as well as being able to stake your MKLN. So some of the utilities of this token is you can get allied party characters, which are called gacha characters. You'll also be able to get limited edition loot boxes and NFTs with cosmetics, and also certain convenience items and upgrades can be bought from this. All marketplace transactions are either done through MKLN or Sol. If you use Sol, you get a 6% transaction fee. If you use MKLN, you get 5%. So you save a percentage on transaction fees, right? And this also provides rewards for MKLN stakers, right? So you can stake MKLN to get rewarded, obviously with percentage of in-game transactions. Now, it is important to understand that 5% in-game transaction fees means that there's a lot of money that's going to be generated through in-game transactions. So this game has a really interesting revenue source, and obviously if you own MKLN, you get to share in that. Now, you can also use MKLN to buy land for personal or guild use. So then the interesting thing is each land will be subjected to an IGS, which is their other token tax. Now, MKLN holders will also have access to the DAO, and this is how kind of like the basically governance works. So with the way the staking works is essentially you will, stake your MKLN. So you get rewarded more by voting on proposals, right? So if you're an active participant in governance, you actually get given more MKLN as a reward for staking. You can delegate your voting rights, and that's something you can do. And then the person who votes for you gets a percentage of the rewards as well. Now, the second part of this is you get to play, and if you're an active player, you actually earn more MKLN from the MKLN you're staking, right? So tokens are going to obviously be kind of rewarded based on that. So I love the fact that they reward active participation. If you just hold and you don't do anything, you'll get a less of a yield than if you're an active participant and holder of their MKLN and you're staking it. Now, the second token they have is the Alien Global Standard, which is their uncapped token. So this is the inflationary token that's rewarded for completing tasks, killing monsters, and completing loot and more. So you can upgrade your character, you can buy new gear, and this is used for utility items like potions. So this is basically what's used as kind of the in-game currency, and it is something that basically a supply that is uncapped. And essentially, if you think about it, right, if you want a real world analogy, this is like the dollar, right? Like there has to be a certain level of inflation for otherwise people just hoard it, right? So this is actually something where you want to be using it, and obviously the value has to be relatively stable, while MKLN is more of a token that's for governance and staking, and that's what's more likely to go up in value. So if you're going to buy one token, I would buy MKLN, but then if you're obviously playing the game, you earn IGS, and then there's so many ways to use it that you can use it to just kind of upgrade yourself and so on. So that's really, really cool. So you can essentially use it in so many different ways. You have the land tax for, if you own land, you can use it for upgrading your community or personal dimensions, marketplace transaction tax, crafting fees, basically anything really in the game that's not super premium, you can use it with IGS. Now the tokenomics, the vesting schedule, circulation, they're all still being decided. So let's talk about the NFTs. So there are 10,000 NFTs, right? Current floor price on Magic Eden is 1.59 Sol, which is a pretty low price in my opinion for what this is. These NFTs have a bunch of in-game uses, right? So first one is you will get in-game NFT items that will essentially allow you to get a head start in the game and earn more rewards, and you'll also get IGS with it, which is kind of the in-game token. So you'll essentially be able to use the NFT to kind of just upgrade and basically get more rewards right away. And you also will get a bunch of cosmetic and vanity upgrades, which again, if this game scales to millions of users, which have already scaled Tatsu to millions of users, 60 million users, and they're using the same method, they have the same user base. So this will be something that will become a lot more valuable over time, just purely because this is valuable. You're one of the OGs. You do get in-game VIP stores with discounts or unique items and special explorable world areas. And also you will get MKLN airdrops. So if you hold a token, not only do you get some IGS, you get the premium governance token, which then you can stake, and then you obviously are part of the DAO and so on. And then you'll also get a prominent kind of status adventurer boost. So it's an in-game premium booster. So you basically have higher earning rates for your NFT inside the game, right? you get access to land pre-sales, NFT, new NFT collections they may do, and so on. Now, one thing I do want to emphasize is I asked their team, hey, what percentage of the token of MKLN or IGS will be for NFT holders? And they said that basically the token they'll decide at a later point. However, they don't expect the token percentage to be anywhere close double-digit territory, as that's unfeasible given that we're not some small NFT project. So I would assume it's anywhere from 2 to 4%, maybe even 5%. In my opinion, it's still very bullish, but obviously if it was 10%, this would be a no-brainer. Even with 2 or 3% of the token supply being allocated, I think the sheer potential of this project just means that it's definitely worth buying a few of these. Now, there was a concern brought up in the Cyberwolves DAO with one of the members there who actually mentioned that he was slightly worried about the fact that they had a small team for all the ambitious stuff they're trying to pull off. So I asked their team about that, and they said, hey, we have 17 people right now, 7 of us are in Singapore and the rest are around the world. We're currently looking to scale up to 50 with basically the fact that they've done their VC round, they're getting some more private funding. So you should be able to assume that these guys are going to scale their team to 50 plus people very, very soon. So guys, just a heads up, as I mentioned, Cyberwolves DAO, go check them out. They have an application link. It's a private Discord where you have to apply to get in, but these guys are where I get a lot of my gaming alpha. I had known about this project before Cyberwolves, but I had some good discussions about it in there, so I kind of got some good information. So again, Cyberwolves DAO is very, very good place to just check out. So yeah, basically based on what the Cyberwolves member was saying, I do think they have a good game plan to scale up. Even though they have an ambitious roadmap to get all of this released, I think they can easily do it, right? So if you look at their roadmap, they want to expand their team. As they said, they're trying to get to 50 people. They want to get their initial DEX offering done. They want to start staking their NFTs for IGS as well, subscription perks as well for Tatsu.gg. And then in 2022, Q1, they'll also be doing their avatar integration. So they'll have like kind of some parts of the game already built and personal dimensions built as well. And then 2022 in Q2, so around like summer to fall, is where they'll be basically, they'll start expanding the game universe, so you can start doing some fishing, farming, crafting, etc. And eventually this is going to, near the end of Q2, get into actually the party combat system, right? So the combat will start working. And then Q3 is when they want to have the story and the open world. So essentially they're rolling out the game in parts, right? So they're rolling out some small features, then going out bigger and bigger. And by Q3 to Q4 is when they're going to have basically the full game out, and Q4 is when they'll have land sales and PvP. So guys, with this project, things are looking extremely bullish. Like I've said, I would highly recommend that you look into it. My rating on this project is a 8.5 out of 10. So there's a few things I like. Proven team with execution experience, right? So that's really important. They have figured out distribution with Discord, so they know how to distribute with this project. They have 60 million users. They have an onboarding ramp. They have very clear ideas on how to onboard non-crypto people. I'm very confident this project can onboard users very quickly because they've done it before. They understand how to distribute. And this is rare because most game creators and game developers have no idea how to do this. That's why they require game publishers, while these guys know how to do it. So these guys have a very strong distribution background. I would say the gaming background on them is a little bit weaker, but overall, I think because they have distribution, that's a huge advantage. Now, what I don't like is obviously tokenomics will be clear in a few months. We don't know what the tokenomics look like. Right now, they're raising a lot of VC funding, and sometimes this can be a good thing, sometimes this can be a bad thing, because VCs want their cut, and VCs want their 50 to 100x returns, right? So it's kind of like you want to be careful, because sometimes with that, it comes at the cost of NFT holders if NFT holders get less benefits. However, so once the tokenomics are clearer, I think that will become a lot more clear what the earnings potential is, because I'm looking for the potential 50x. I'm not looking for the 2x or 3x. So I want to look for projects where NFT holders get rewarded big for betting early. Now, I do think the current floor price is 1.7, which is a good entry point. I plan to pick up 3 to 4 of these. I do think these guys have something interesting, and I want to keep an eye on this project. Overall, my score is 8.5 out of 10. They have a great distribution system, great team, unclear tokenomics, but I do think at the minimum this project is a sure bet. Even if it's not going to go 50x, I think it's a very high chance this project is just going to be a positive kind of investment. Again, this is not financial advice. None of this channel is financial advice, but for me personally, I'm going to be buying a few of their NFTs and investing into this project because I do think there's a lot of potential. Because if they're able to scale this to 60 million users and you have 10,000 initial NFTs, number one, the market cap will be massive on this project, right? It could easily hit $1 billion market cap. And number two, those initial NFTs will be incredibly valuable, and all the perks and rewards you're getting for it will potentially really just blow up. So my thesis on this is, hey, once I get more tokenomics, I can go in heavier. Right now, I'm comfortable picking up a few. Once more details are clear, then I'll start picking up maybe 10 to 20 of these. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know which gaming project you want me to cover next. I would love to hear about it in the comments section, and please give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already.